What is an MBA? Let's start from there. An MBA is an acronym for Master of Business Administration. And what's the focus of the MBA? It's usually general management and leadership development. Now, different MBA programs will have different concentrations and different styles of delivering um, the courses in the MBA. But generally they're all pretty much driving in the same direction, which is general management and leadership development. And who's their target? Who are the target audience for the MBA? Working professionals, which would be anywhere from around 3 years of work experience to 7 years and even more, depending on what your preference is or when you get to start doing your MBA. Because hey, life happens, right? But usually, most MBA programs will be asking for a minimum of 3 years of experience. Now, there are outliers at times. Maybe you have a little less than 3 years of experience, but you have some good skills or some good experience to cover for it. A good example would be maybe you've been an entrepreneur even while you were in school, in the university, doing your undergrad. That can count for some good experience. I've seen some outliers like that, that people will get into a good MBA program with 1 year experience, a little over 1 year of experience as well. And again, I'm majorly talking to international students here. The local students might be able to find this series interesting and helpful as well, but majorly I am speaking to international students, and I'll try to see how I can ensure that we carry the local students along if you're trying to use this video series to understand what you're about to get into. So what's the learning style in the MBA? How do they teach? First, case-based learning. That's bringing a case, reading the case, and people begin to give their opinions differently from a diverse perspective about the case. The professor is in front of the class, and that's the reason why many MBA programs value diversity, because when the class is diverse, you get a lot of diverse views. Someone from the US is responding to the question in a certain way. Someone from India has a different perspective. Someone from Africa has an interesting perspective. And at the end of the day, the professor is able to bring everything together and make it make sense, because that's actually a good representation of what the business world is like out there. There's a mix of a lot of diversity. Another learning style will be real business problems, where a real business problem is deployed in class, and we will try to solve those problems depending on the professor's style of teaching or style of solving those problems. He may decide to break those problems into chunks and give it to different groups to try to solve and then bring it all together as one, or he may give the whole question to different groups. He might even give it to you as homework, as individual homework, or as a group assignment. Another type of learning style will be group projects and collaboration, where uh, some projects are handed over to groups. Different schools, different MBA programs have what they call those groups. Some schools call it cohorts. A school like Duke University, Fuqua School of Business, will call it C leads, where you all come together, a very small but diverse group, solving problems together and already mirroring what your post MBA life will be like, because now you're solving problems with people who have different perspectives on solving that problem and they work at different paces. Now, let's go straight to why you might want to get an MBA. Why? People have different goals, they have different reasons why they want to get an MBA. One will be for career goals, which will be you're trying to switch your career, or you're trying to accelerate your career growth. And I want to, dig a little deeper on that. If you look at the organizational structure in your firm now, usually we can easily break it into two major categories: the strategic level and the tactical level. The strategic level Those guys are the top, the C-suites, the guys who are paid to think. They draw up the strategy on how the company would move forward. They draw up the strategy on how to solve problems, market entry strategies, and how to ensure that they're staying relevant in the competitive landscape. At the tactical level, those are the guys who pick up the strategy that has been dropped, from the C-suite, and then they're the ones who will execute the strategy. They're the ones who actually have hands-on and do the stuff. So I call them the doers. The guys who are at the strategic level, I call them the thinkers. Another reason why you might want to get an MBA will be, to get into leadership positions. You might also want to move straight into entrepreneurship, or maybe you're just looking for a salary increase. All right. So those are some of the reasons why you might want to get an MBA based on the career goals. Some other people just want to build a network. That's, personally, that's who I am. I love to build networks, right? So some people want to have like a global professional network. Some people want to have solid alumni connections. Others just want to have industry contacts. Lastly, I would say skill development. Some people want to learn the whole idea of strategic thinking, just like I mentioned earlier. You want to move to the strategic level. Something has to happen from the tactical level to take you up there. And an MBA is a good example of something that can transition you from the tactical level to the strategic level. Another skill developments that you might be thinking about will be to, learn how to, make decisions better, decision making, data driven decisions, situational awareness, whatever it is. You might also want to just improve your business acumen, your executive presence, your communication skills. Those are some of the reasons why people will decide to get an MBA. Next, let us look into what is an MBA in comparison to the regular masters, the MSc that we all know. I'm going to come back in a second and give you more details about that.